Hey, what's up, guys? It's James from This Week in Airsoft, and it is 9/9/2013. I'm coming to you today. It's 8 o'clock, 8:20 by my clock. I just opened a beer. If you're under 21, do not drink beer. I am 35, so I can drink beer, okay? Don't drink beer with your airsoft gun either. It's very bad for your airsoft gun. Anyway, so I wanted to come on and address a few things. First and foremost, we're not recording a show tonight. I came home super late from work. I just got home a little while ago. John had time, but now he doesn't have time. So that's my fault, not John's fault. Not the show's fault. Well, if I'm the show, but I don't think I'm the show. It's my fault. Anyway, tomorrow we'll be recording a show. Okay? The second thing I want to talk about is Eric DMZ's comment on our page. Eric DMZ, I really appreciate your comment. He's an airsoft field owner, DMZ Airsoft. Definitely check him out. Also, Airsoft Table Talk. Definitely check that out. He says here, I'm opinionated. I have high hopes for hosts, but most of all, I want Airsoft to keep shooting higher. Okay, and his comment is basically saying we kind of are giving MGP we're giving them the easy road on our last show. It seemed like a one-sided interview. I'll say like this as far as that. Operation Sovereign Fury was a great op in a great location. The location is what made the op for me. Okay? Otherwise, the operation was plagued with all the regular problems that any op has. But if you've played Airsoft long enough, you know that this is a constant in Airsoft. You know? Operation Sovereign Fury guys, the MGP, didn't do anything that other op promoters haven't done to keep their op running, to keep players interested, to keep it exciting. Okay? John Liu and Greg Brothers, the guys from Lion Claws, they do crazy fragos, they have crazy props, they go through, they have there's some pyro sometimes, they have amazing locations, they do all these things to bring players in, to keep it interesting, to keep players excited. MGP did the same thing. You had pyro, you had a 50 cal simulator, you had a mortar simulator, you had this amazing facility. This facility was freaking crazy, go nuts. Okay, they had a black mission in a subway train, something no one's done. Period. In a subway station, with subway cars and everything that guys could really get into. With full lights out. I mean, anyway, I could talk about that mission from all the time. It's an awesome mission. Anyway, they did what they could. Okay, they had plenty of fragos. I saw the fragos. Maybe the fragos weren't executed. I don't know, but I saw the fragos. They had tons and tons of fragos. Let me be straight up. I didn't play. Okay, I walked around the field. I talked to players and I talked to MGP staff, and I went behind the scenes with the MGP staff. Okay. I had a great time just hanging out at the op. That's how good the op was for me. So, next up, did MGP drop the ball? I don't think so. They didn't drop the ball any more than any op promoter drops the ball, I think what happens is these guys I think you get into a frame of mind as an op promoter, and I don't know anything about this because I'm not an op promoter. This is just my opinion. I think op promoters get into a frame of mind where they're like, well, we're going to set up this great place, and guys will come, and they'll play, and they'll love it. But then what happens is they set up this great place, and guys come, and for every guy who loves the place, within that group of guys who love the place, because everyone I talk to loved Guardian Centers, okay? But within that group, there's guys who just do what airsofters always do at every event everywhere, okay? They have no comm skills. They have bad communication skills on the radio, or they don't have radios. Okay, they don't follow commanders. When the commander says to do something, they don't do it. They say hold the building, they wander off. Or they say I need you guys to move to this point and take this. They go somewhere else. They go in another building and they hang out somewhere, and they don't do anything. Okay, or they take pot shots at the enemy from another building because they're all snipers. These are common things, and I know we've all seen them in airsoft games. Whether you be a promoter or a field owner or a player /media guy or whatever. We've all seen these guys. We've all seen it. It's a regular trait in all airsoft teams everywhere. We all have done it in the past. You know, we say, this is kind of lame. You know, I'm going to make this interesting for myself, and you go off and you do whatever. Okay? Here's the thing. You know, the chain of command is obviously there for a reason. It's there to keep the game flowing. You know, to keep tactical operations moving forward so that you can continue to have this force-on-force kind of taking buildings, losing buildings, you know, moving forward, getting pushed back, excitement level, you know. But guys get to a point, I mean, we're civilians playing, a lot of us are civilians, we're playing a game that we like as a hobby. We want to enjoy ourselves. We don't want to have a bad time. So we go and we make it fun for ourselves at our own level. Do I think that it's the player's fault? No, I don't think it's the player's fault. If MGP could have done anything, they could have seen how every airsoft player, how every game I've ever been to is the same way and try to predict their way around it. The only thing they could have done to do that is something that no players, I think, something that no op promoters ever do. Number one, I said this on the show, start the game at night so guys can have that lively overnight experience that they can't get anywhere else. So guys are energized and juiced and jacked and ready to go at like 7 p.m. They get on the field and they have a nighttime war never seen before. With nods, without nods, with everybody thinking there's freaking spec ops, start the game at night. Okay? Then in the morning, guys can be tired and they can like laze around all day, or go back to their apartments, or go into sleeping quarters that were provided, or do whatever they want, and then come back later on for the thing, you know, for the award ceremony or whatever. Second of all, incentivize guys to leave the buildings. You know, Squad 3-3 was the number one squad, and they took 15 buildings, and they held the 15. They held 14 buildings for 4 hours or something like that. So you give points for every half an hour you hold a building. You give points for every building you take. Okay, maybe you have cards in the buildings, in the doorways, or you have a laptop, or you give every team a tablet if you're crazy. You do something to make it so that guys can say at the end of the game, here's all the things, and points can be tabulated, and those guys can get credit for those points. That way, they go home with either an extra special patch or a new award or something like that. That's what you've got to do. Okay, you've got to incentivize guys to play. Otherwise, guys are going to go in the buildings and get sucked in the buildings and hang out there and they're like, this is so cool, look at this facility, it's great. Guys were rolling around the wheelchairs in the hospital place, and guys were looking through the magazines in the bookstore, and you know, guys were having cane fights in the hospital place. I mean, it was crazy, and it was fun. It was crazy and fun all at the same time. But the thing is, obviously that was outside of the mission parameters for whatever they were supposed to be doing. You know, guys get bored, they get distracted, whatever. You know, or guys get scared and don't want to go over the hill. You've got to incentivize it for them. That's one thing I think they could have done. But again, I've never seen a promoter do that. Maybe there's some promoters out west who do it, or maybe Milsim Events does it. Maybe American Milsim does it. I know John Liu doesn't do it, and I know that MGP doesn't do it, and no local ops I've ever been to do it. Okay, or they do it in one way or another, kind of in a weird roundabout way. But when it comes to mount sites, I think it's important to say you've got to take the next building. You've got to get out of this building, get into the next one. And if it's your job to hold a building, then you've got to incentivize them to hold those buildings. You know, the same thing in reverse. Maybe guys do it. I don't know. If someone does it, let me know so we can go to their op. Okay. That said, if you're gonna just host an op somewhere and do what everyone's always done and do it really well, MGP did that. Okay, they had tons of fragos for guys to do. I don't know where the breakdown was, if guys weren't getting the fragos. I don't know. I saw the fragos. I saw them. I know they were there. There was a whole board full of them, you know, and that was shocking to me. I was like, wow, you guys are so prepared to really push guys, you know. So comms, fragos, water. Probably water. That was probably the other biggest thing. MGP did what they could. They had water in the admin center. There was plenty of notices about water, but guys still didn't drink any water or bring water. You know, I mean, and honestly, I don't think that was MGP's fault. If guys, you got to knock guys over the head and say, drink, stupid, then I guess, I don't know. It's big boy rules here, man. I didn't get dehydrated. I'm from Maryland. It's very moderate here in Maryland. I didn't get dehydrated, I'll say this straight up. My stepfather got dehydrated, because he didn't drink, So, I know guys guys were sick. They went to the hospital. Some guys went to the hospital. They're all out. They're better. Good for them. But it was hot. It was hot down there. You got to drink. Simple as that. Big boy rules. What else? Staff. I was wearing a red shirt. Okay. Every time I looked out on the field, I saw staff everywhere. There was staff everywhere. Now, I did see this. I'll be straight up with you. I did see this. There was times when the field was dead. I'm going to drink some of my beer right now. There was times when the field was dead, when there was no one on the field, when I didn't see any staff. The staff was probably in the admin building. Should staff always have a presence on the field? Probably so, But I would say 70 to 80% of the time, you couldn't go down a street without seeing some staff walking around, okay? And the thing is about this field, it's big enough but small enough that if you needed to get staff, you could send a runner to the admin building. Admin building's in the center of town, so the admin building was no more than 2 to 3 minutes away from any given point in the field, on the field, Probably less than that, probably a minute, you know what I mean? So if guys say, well, there was no staff, there was, if you're paying attention, you knew where to get where the staff was. There was plenty. You could go anywhere and see staff. I want to find something that I think MGP did really bad. I don't want guys to say that I'm giving MGP a hand job here. I'm trying to think here. They didn't use the black. They could have done more with the black missions. I think they could have done more with them. They did a lot. But there was other places in the facility that they didn't use. I think they could have run 2 black missions at once, And the black missions were capable of fog, rain. They didn't use any of that, I would have, I would have told guys, I would have told, put in hostage situations and a bunch of other things. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that was it. I mean, see, guys did stuff that, I saw things that were like, it was mind-boggling. It was like baffling to me. I saw tan guys run between 2 green guys. He ran through a building, came out between these 2 green guys. They ignored him. He ran up and killed the green tank, talked to the driver for like 15 seconds, said, oh, yeah, I got you, oh, cool, whatever, and then he ran back through the building, and the green guy didn't touch him. He sat there and watched him, and the green guy was so baffled about what happened that he didn't even think, I need to be shooting this guy, I mean, and I saw that, and I looked at the driver, I walked to the driver, I said, what the hell happened here? And he said, yeah, he said, you see that, right? He said, I'm not getting any support. This is crazy. He said, I don't get any infantry support at all. That's a common thing in Airsoft. Airsoft players don't know to give infantry support. Probably the other thing, I think the other thing they could have done, or the thing that, here's what lessons learned, that's what I'll call this video, lessons learned for MGP. I think they should have eliminated the command from players, beside at the squad level, and made MGP staff be company, not company, but oh geez, I guess it's company. I don't know, like company level, like sergeants and first lieutenants, and then the main leadership. That way, they could have pushed the flow of the game a little bit more, and maybe done more to control squad cohesion, because all squad cohesion fell apart. Like it does at every Airsoft game I've ever been to. It's very common. Squads don't stick together. I've watched videos from ops from all over the United States, and one common thing I always hear in the background of a video I'm exaggerating. Not every video. One particular video. Jesus, James, you're in a mess. You're just making stuff up. One particular thing I heard, and I've seen to be a reality, is guys would say, oh, I don't know where my squad is. I'm looking for my squad. Oh, well, I'll just go along with you guys. I hear that at every op, and I've heard it in a few videos. So I know it happens at other people's ops. I know it happens at Milsim events ops. I know it happens because as a promoter, you can't. What can you do to make players play, or to make players stay with their squad? John Liu, at his ops, it happens nonstop. Players don't stay with their squad. You have these wandering rogue, soldiers wandering around the field, melding in with this group or leaving that group and going off to find their friends, and then they leave their friends, they get killed, and they can't find them ever again. They don't see them again until the award ceremony, but the whole time they've been wandering around off mission, and so they're off mission, so their squad is light 2 or 3 men, so their squad's combat ineffective, so they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Then they say, well, shit, we're combat ineffective. Let's wander off and go get with this other big group, and they leave their objective. That's common in every Airsoft game. Like I said in our AAR, if guys leave the field, and they leave the 2 areas of approach unguarded, guess what? Tan took it, and Green couldn't get back in the game, and everybody was frustrated from Green. So that frustration turns into this griping about how MGP is not doing anything to help them. I guess this. It's funny, guys. This is off topic. I'm a rambling maniac, so you're just going to be subject to my rambling right now. But this is really common in all facets of life. For my job in the real world. I work in IT, right? I'm a senior technician working for the Department of Defense, right? So I deal with these people who they have their jobs and they're doing their work. And the thing is, people will say, no one I work with has a CRT monitor, but if someone has a CRT monitor, and I've seen this in the past at previous postings, people will say, my computer's slow. I want a faster computer like Jeff. And you look at Jeff's computer, he has the same computer with a flat screen monitor. It's psychological. So people think the computer's slow. They want to replace the computer. I need a new computer. They don't mean new screen. They don't relate the screen to being slow, but at a psychological level they do, because a CRT means it's old. It's the same thing here. Guys say we're getting our butts kicked here. It's not our fault. It's MGP's fault. Could MGP have done more? Yeah, sure, they could have done a lot more. They could have forced players to stay there. They could have herded them like cattle onto the field. They could have run in and pushed them out of the buildings physically. I don't think that would have worked, though. I think guys would have really hated the op then, I think the only thing the MGP could have done is the things that I've mentioned here. And those things that I've mentioned are outside of the box, as far as I'm concerned, new things that I just thought up here because I'm a genius. Okay? Now, maybe guys are going to tell me, no, this is not new. It's been done before, and MGP dropped the ball by not doing those things. Fine. Educate me. I don't mind. But right now, this is how I feel about it. Now, just quickly, MGP, like I said, they didn't pay me. I came for free, but only after I had a medical, and Mac, I paid my deposit, and Mac gave it back to me out of the kindness of his heart. I didn't ask for it back. I expected to pay just like one of the embedded photographer players, and that's what I expected, but I told Mac, I said, I don't want to get shot at. That's all. I'll wear a red shirt. I don't mind paying. I don't want to get shot at. Whatever. Mac gave me the money back because he's a nice guy. Okay? But I didn't. But otherwise, I paid for every Airsoft op I go to. I'm not going to downplay. I'm not going to downplay an op because everybody else is downplaying an op. Players have a different perspective. Maybe that's what it is. But you can't look at things from a narrow view like this. You need to see the big picture. If your narrow view is like, this op was horrible, well, you can't say the whole op was bad, because I know guys who had a great time. I know guys for a fact had a great time. They played their hearts out there, and they had a great time. So the whole op was bad because you didn't have a good time? That's the thing I'm saying. You know? Now, really quickly, I'm going to look at this other thing that another guy sent up here. His name is Poop Daddy. He posted this on our regular page, okay? And Poop Daddy, wherever you are, I appreciate your comment as well. He says, nice AAR, guys, but the game lacked missions. Like I said in what I was just saying, guys, there were missions. Maybe there was a breakdown. Maybe MGP didn't put the missions out. If that's the case, they failed the players. Because I saw the missions, they had them. Like I said, I didn't play, I don't know. But I did see the missions there. I saw the fragos. There was probably about 30 fragos up on the board of like, these are all things we can do in case. Or these are things we can do, run throughout the day to get the play going. Okay? Not enough missions. There was a lot of force on force and very few objectives. There were objectives. Okay? There was probably, yes, I'll agree with that. There were very few objectives that I saw outside of the fragos. The only objectives that I really saw, there was 2 SAM sites, an antenna, and a satellite dish, I think. Okay? Those were the main objectives. Okay? But I think it's kind of hard to run objectives when there's no players on the field. But those were the only objectives. Could there have been more? Probably, yes. Were there more in the fragos? Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't play. And I'm not excusing MGP. If they didn't run the fragos, if they wrote all these fragos out up on the board just to show media and didn't run them, well, F you, MGP, you screwed the pooch. You know what I mean? But as far as I know, the fragos were there with objectives. Let's see. We need to evaluate the milsim perspective of Airsoft. We can have milsim, but we need to throw in some video game. I don't really know what he means there. I guess I might understand what he's talking about. We need to evaluate milsim aspect of Airsoft. So he's saying, okay, I get what he's saying. He's saying milsim shouldn't be like sit in this building for 15 hours, and it should be kind of, he's saying throw in some video game, and you need that excitement. And I get that. He's right. You do need that excitement. It's hard to get players to follow the chain of command. Everyone is an elite operator. No one wants to be the grunt that guards the building. It needs to be fun. And that's what we want. MGP had pages of rules. They did not stick to them, and they need to keep it simple and stick with it. He's right about that. Okay? 100%. He's absolutely right, and I'm glad he said that here, because he's absolutely right. MGP had a bunch of rules, and the rules changed like crazy. Okay? I had so many guys tell me, oh, they changed this rule, they changed that rule. I was witness to some of the rule changing, but I didn't realize then what I was seeing because I didn't even read the handbook because I wasn't going to play, So I didn't read the rules, So I don't know, but I can tell you, for instance, one guy told us, when I went on the Black Op mission, the guys in the Black Op, they walked around. No one told. Basically, I think. Maybe as far as the Black Op rules problem was concerned, that I noticed, here's what I saw. The American team came in, and the guy asked me, he said, is that area out of bounds? He thought I was an admin. I thought he said, is that area in bounds? And I said, yes, it's in bounds. Yes. He said, oh, okay, and he turned his back to it and got shot in the back, right? He said, thanks a lot, dude. You told me it was out of bounds. I said, no, man, I thought you said, is it in bounds? I screwed that guy so bad because I didn't hear him, That's my fault, okay? He got medic back in, so it's all good. But still, it sucks, But that's one fine example of where yesterday, he said the day before that area was out of bounds. Now, all of a sudden, it's in bounds, There was a good amount of that. The game flow was kind of like I saw some of that myself, but I didn't realize because I didn't play. I didn't realize that it was like, oh, this was in bounds, that was out of bounds. Oh, is this legal? Is that legal? I didn't know. You know what I mean? I'm not playing. I'm videotaping and interviewing. That's all I was doing, and talking to players. But I had a lot of guys telling me, hey, look, the rules keep changing. That's the biggest thing I heard. The rules keep changing. The rules keep changing. Honestly, besides what I saw in the Black Op, I can't specify one particular instance where the rules kept changing. But guys kept telling me, Okay, and so what he's saying here is a common theme. And what some MGP staff person, I think he wasn't a staff person as much as he was like a helper, he told me, he said, yeah, well, MGP made these rules up, then they realized, oh, we've got to change them. They changed them at the last minute and didn't update anyone. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what he said to me. Like I said, I have no proof. I just have one guy's comment. And guess what, guys? If there ain't pictures, it did not happen. Okay? So that's what he told me. I'm being straight with you, but I have no proof of it. You know, and I'm not going to talk about things I haven't seen or that there's no proof of. But he makes a good point here. Have rules and stick to them. You know. So anyway, guys, it's been probably like 20 minutes. I've eaten up a bunch of your time with this shenanigans. The show will be on tomorrow, so look for it tomorrow. I appreciate you guys' time. I appreciate you guys watching the show. Don't be afraid to say bad things about the show. Don't be afraid to tell us that we suck. Don't be afraid to tell us that you feel like we're kowtowing to promoters. You know, we aren't. But if you want to say that, that's perfectly fine. You know, Eric DMZ, I want you to get in touch with me. I want to have you on the show. Let's talk. Let's talk about this on the show. Let's talk about what you're doing at your field. I want to know. Guys need to know. You know, you sound like an enlightened guy and a smart guy. I would love to have you on the show, okay? Poop Daddy, I don't want to have you on the show because your name's Poop Daddy, okay? I think I know who you are, but Poop Daddy is just, you know, come on, bro, Poop Daddy. Anyway, like I said, this is not a criticism of these guys posting these things on the show wall. It's not a criticism. I want you guys to do it. Anyway, I could beat this up all night. I'm not going to. I'm really tired. We're going to record tomorrow. I appreciate you guys listening always. Operate hard, operate often. This is James. We're out.